Hey everybody, and welcome to the stream. For those of you just tuning in, my name's Marlon, and this is episode 15 of Kingdom Hearts 2. And just so you know, folks, although this is going to be an ordinary stream, but however, I do have an uninvited guest in my room, and I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about a little thing called pest control. Alright? So, if I freak out, then you guys will know that I'm not going to end the stream. But I am going to have to pause the stream for a little bit so I can deal with the uninvited guest. For now, well, let's just talk about the weather right now. So, how you guys doing? Anybody enjoyed your 4th of July weekend so far? For me, well, all I can say is, folks, is that 4th of July weekend was more relaxing, though disappointed on the 4th of July back on Friday because, you know, no friends of mine were available, turns out. Yeah, just give me a moment, folks. Okay. Anyway, no pest right now, but still, I'll try to keep an eye on the pest as time rolls around. Just guard everything. Okay, so what do we have here for now? Well, for right now, we do have 53 active weather alerts, 1 tornado warning in North Carolina. I believe it has to do with Chantal, but we'll get to it. 5 flash flood warnings in Texas, North Carolina, and Canada. 3 special marine warnings in North Carolina, Florida, and 5 special weather statements in Arkansas, Florida, and Kentucky. There are 4 dense fog advisories and 13 air quality alerts, 22 flood warnings. Alright, it's just about a few so far. Let's just go over the Northeast real quick. So let me play the radar for you guys. Alright, so what do we have here? Okay, so we do have some passing showers and clouds, maybe a few storms in the Adirondacks, northern New England, and Maine. But elsewhere, it's quite calm throughout places like lower part of upstate New York, southern New England, the greater New York City area like Long Island, New Jersey, and as well as Pennsylvania too. Though, however, we do have some air quality alerts for the New York City tri-state area, but only in the 5 boroughs area, western Connecticut, the lower Hudson Valley, and northern and western New Jersey. But elsewhere, well, West Virginia, it's quite calm, though the Delmarva Peninsula, just a few showers in the southern part of the Delmarva Peninsula, and as well as southern Maryland. And Virginia, they're getting showers and storms all associated with a tropical system named Chantal, but that's downgraded to a tropical depression or post-tropical, tropical depression because its winds have downgraded, which we'll get to in a moment. Though it's moving towards the west, those showers and thunderstorms, they're making their way towards West Virginia at a slow rate, and it'll be there in about 3 hours from now. A high pressure is sitting over the border between West Virginia and Virginia. Let's go down south to North Carolina, where you do see Chantal. It's of course downgraded to tropical depression. Like I said, we'll get to it. Though elsewhere we do have a special marine warning just somewhere in the Outer Banks, just east of Jacksonville and New Bern, North Carolina. A tornado warning and a flash flood warning have been issued right around the Fayetteville area. And let's just do a little bit of tornado search, folks. So right now, okay, so let's go to the single site radar. Nearest one is, hold on a minute. No, not here. Not here. Here. Okay. Now, let's take a look at it. Okay. So let's examine this quickly. And what do we have here? Well, you're not seeing much hook echo. Not a textbook example of what a what a hook echo is. But we do. Sorry about that, folks. We do have. Man, I want to speak, but there's always something in my throat. Alright, so let's see. Okay, so if that doesn't work, we can always try the radar reflectivity radar, and nearest one is right there. Now you're seeing winds that are moving away from the radar right now. It's quite stronger though, but tend to be less winds there, which means that there are chances that tornadoes can be spawned right around here. But even though you're not seeing the green though, I mean, that's because of the friction. So you can see, okay, so this is what we have in terms of the radar moving away, though the radar is moving towards that way, that way, that way, that way. You know what I mean, folks? Now let's see where we can find the debris. Well, you're seeing a bit of debris right around here. I mean, it's not much. You can tell. I don't know why they put a tornado warning there, but there has to be some indication of a tornado warning. But according to this was indicated by radar, though no hail is to be expected. But I could offer a little bit of a lesson, like how why tornadoes are spawned during hurricanes. But that part, we'll get to it at the end of the stream. That could be potentially the weather topic of the day. Other than that, there are flash flood warnings. There's a flash flood warning just southwest of Fayetteville. Alright, so now let's go back to the MRMS radar. South Carolina, well, they felt the worst of the tropical storm, though the storm has moved northward towards North Carolina and Virginia. But for now, it's all just passing clouds and showers all throughout the Palmetto State, especially in Charleston. And much of the rain, it's leaving state. Georgia, right now, I mean, you're not seeing much going on in Georgia. I mean, it's all clear, though. There are a few spotty clouds there in southern Georgia, but it's nothing too significant for now. Then we go to Florida, where there are plenty of thunderstorms that are popping up right now in the peninsula part of Florida. But there are some thunderstorms that are approaching Apalachicola and moving in towards parts of the Panhandle of Florida. Plenty of special marine warnings, choppy waters along the Atlantic coast part of South Florida, especially special weather statements indicating some strong thunderstorms, small hail, damaging winds there. Then we go to Tennessee. There are some pop-up thunderstorms in some parts of Tennessee, though you're seeing the movement of some storms. They're popping up, moving towards the east in a slow fashion. Then you have Alabama, Mississippi. Well, for now, it looks like so for the past 3 hours that they've been cleared, though northern Mississippi, they have some pop-up thunderstorms. Alabama, too, just recently. And you're looking at Arkansas, passing showers with a special weather statement there. That's because you have pop-up thunderstorms that have grown strong enough to cause some damage, well, some damaging winds and small hail. Then we go down south towards Louisiana, where eastern Louisiana, there are some pop-up thunderstorms that are brewing, especially along the coastal part of Louisiana. Now let's go to Texas, where similarly, the place where there's a lot of floods. Well, there's more flooding to go around in the center part of the state, though it has moved slightly northward, especially towards the Dallas Metroplex, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Plenty of flash flood warnings have been issued throughout the center part of the state, though Dallas and Fort Worth, they've yet to... Oh, wait, actually there is a flash flood warning just to the southwest of downtown Fort Worth. Elsewhere throughout Texas, you're seeing pop-up thunderstorms in Midland, in Abilene. It looks like it's moving. They're moving southwestward, but elsewhere throughout western Texas, it's quite clear. Southern tip of Texas, you're seeing pop-up thunderstorms from San Antonio occurring in some parts of the southern tip of Texas. Eastern Texas, for the most part, it's quite calm, but pop-up clouds and showers are in the vicinity, but not widespread, though. Oklahoma, they do have, now they have some pop-up thunderstorms in the central part of the state right now. Then we move on to Kentucky, where there is a special weather statement issued near Elizabethtown, Kentucky, all because of some pop-up thunderstorms that are occurring there, especially throughout the Ohio Valley part of Kentucky. Now, what about Ohio? Much of Ohio is quite clear. Some pop-up thunderstorms are moving in, coming from Indiana, where Indiana, it's a slow mover, though they're popping up right now, moving in towards the Buckeye State and still affecting the Hoosier State. Illinois, we're seeing some thunderstorms moving in towards Chicago, especially in southern Illinois too. Then we move on to Michigan and Wisconsin, where you do see some clouds, showers, and even a few thunderstorms moving across the lower peninsula part of Michigan, especially the eastern part of Wisconsin. Clouds and showers have been passing by through the upper peninsula part of Michigan. And all that's because you do have a cold front that's moving through the Midwest right now. A stationary front through Michigan, then outward towards Canada. All that's responsible for all the wet weather that's occurring there. Now, what about Minnesota? Well, Minnesota's mostly clear right now. Still plenty of flood warnings because of overflowing banks. Now, if you guys are asking, why are there still flood warnings there? Well, look, flood warning continues for the following rivers in Minnesota, so Brown, Nicollet, and Blue Earth counties. Oh no, that's the Minnesota River. No, it's minor flooding though, and though the expiration date will not happen until further notice though. Iowa, some few showers in eastern Iowa and Missouri, pop-up thunderstorms all across Missouri, Kansas, in the eastern part of Kansas too. Though elsewhere it's quite dry. Hold on a minute, folks. All right, I'm back. Okay, so let's take a look at Nebraska, where things are more serious in terms of the amount of precipitation. Though no warnings have been issued yet, but still, it is one thing to keep an eye on. For those who live there, I mean, this will be a major inconvenience to somebody getting hurt. It's no fun at all, but it's best to have some warnings issued by the National Weather Service. And we move on to the Dakotas. Some isolated showers and storms in the north central part of North Dakota and the south central part of South Dakota too. Flood warnings, of course, I did say they've been issued in southern Minnesota and far eastern South Dakota, but I failed to mention that there are ones in Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas, other than the floods. Oh yeah, and just so you know, there are also some dense fog advisories in some places along Lake Superior, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, in the Northern Rockies. It's mostly clear so far in the Northern Rockies. It's a total contrast from yesterday, but there are some pop-up clouds and showers, maybe a few storms in Wyoming, but nothing major though. Though in Colorado, there are some clear conditions in the past 3 hours, though pop-up thunderstorms have been occurring recently in the northern part of Colorado. Utah, clear, and as well as Nevada, also clear. And what about the desert southwest? Passing showers, clouds, pop-up thunderstorms in Arizona, New Mexico, California. Quite clear in California and the Pacific Northwest as well. Well, hold on. Well, folks, the much of the action is in the southeast, in Texas, and the Midwest. Now, let's switch gears to talk about weather websites. Let me just change things up. There we go. You guys are seeing that? Okay. So, let's take a look. Make it quick as much as possible. Well, much of the Northeast, winds are virtually moving towards the Northeast. Some places up to 30 miles per hour, like the Thousand Island region, or pretty much the northwestern part of the Adirondacks, especially on the eastern end of Long Island, and the coastal part of Massachusetts as well. But elsewhere, it's quite calm, up to 25 miles per hour in the southern part of the Chesapeake Bay Area, and that includes southern Delmarva Peninsula. Though winds are very calm in West Virginia. Winds in Maryland are moving towards the north, but in the Delmarva Peninsula, winds are moving towards the northwest, but shifting towards the north and then towards the northeast. And up to 25 miles per hour, though. Virginia, let's take a look at it. So basically, mountainous part of Virginia, winds are somewhat light and variable though, but in the rest of Virginia, winds are coming from the Atlantic, with winds coming from the southeast, shifting towards the west. And so basically you're dealing with a circular counterclockwise flow of winds in the Carolinas, and that does indicate that that's Chantal. Winds are up to 30 miles an hour, except for the Outer Banks, where winds are up to 35 miles per hour there. Now let's take a look at the temperatures in Maine. They are in the upper 70s to upper 80s. New England, the rest of New England, I should say, temperatures are in the upper 70s to low 90s. Upstate New York, temperatures are in the 80s to low 90s. The greater New York City area, temperatures are in the upper 80s to low 90s. Pennsylvania, temperatures are in the 80s to low 90s. Atlantic City, temperatures are at 77 degrees, though the Delmarva Peninsula, temperatures are in the 80s. Western Maryland, temperatures are also in the 80s to low 90s, and that includes the Washington, D.C. area. West Virginia, temperatures are in the 80s to low 90s. Virginia, temperatures are in the 80s to low 90s. Now let's go to the Carolinas. In Georgia. Okay, so I already mentioned the Carolinas. But temperature-wise, they are in the upper 70s to low 90s. Let's go to Georgia, where Georgia winds are looking light though, but they're moving towards the southeast, but shifting towards the northeast because of Chantal. Winds are up to 20 miles per hour in general, though. Tennessee, winds are coming from the west, shifting towards the southeast. At no more than 20 miles per hour, though. Temperatures in Georgia, they are in the upper 80s to mid 90s. Tennessee, temperatures are in the low to mid 90s. Florida, let's go down to Florida, where much of the winds in Florida, they're very calm, though yet a bit variable in terms of direction. Though when you get to the peninsula part of Florida, winds are up to 20 to 25 miles per hour in some places. Winds are moving towards the northeast. Temperatures statewide, they are in the mid 80s to low 90s. Go to Alabama, Mississippi. For the most part, winds are very light and variable, though. Some sea breeze in the southern parts of Alabama, Mississippi, and far northern part of both states. Winds are moving towards the east, though. Temperatures in both states are in the upper 80s to mid 90s. Arkansas, light and variable in the southern part of Arkansas. The rest of the state, winds are coming from the southwest, shifting towards the east, blowing up to 25 miles per hour, but it's highest in the northwestern quarter of the state. Temperatures are in the upper 80s to mid 90s. Louisiana, much of the state do have light and variable winds, but you have some sea breeze along the coastal parts of the state, where temperatures are going to be in the 90s. Now let me take a look at the chat real quick. Got to keep up to date with the chat, so I don't want to miss out on the chat. Alright, now let me get back to work. Okay, so what do we got in Texas? So Texas, every part of the coastal part of Texas, winds are coming from the Gulf, blowing up to 25 to 30 miles per hour in the southern part of Texas, up to 25 miles per hour in the northeastern quarter of the state. Winds moving towards the north. The panhandle part of Texas, winds are actually generally coming from the east, shifting towards the north at up to 20 miles an hour. Western Texas, winds are moving towards the west at up to 25 to 30 miles per hour in some places. Temperatures in the panhandle, they are in the 80s, as well as the western part of Texas. San Angelo, 75. In the southern part of Texas, temperatures are in the mid 80s to low 90s, especially in Houston, Lufkin, at 93 though. Northeastern Texas, temperatures are in the 80s. Let's go to Oklahoma, where you do have winds that are generally blowing towards the north, though in the western part of Oklahoma, winds are moving towards the west, but shifting back towards the north, though. In the eastern part of the state, winds are shifting towards the northeast, but everywhere, winds are blowing up to no more than 25 miles per hour. The temperatures are going to be in the 80s. Now let's go to the Ohio Valley. Alright, now let's go to... Okay, so we're in the Ohio Valley right now, and you're seeing, virtually, winds are moving towards the northeast, though places like northern Illinois, northern Ohio, northern Indiana, and especially eastern Illinois, winds are blowing up to 30 miles per hour. Winds are very light and variable in the eastern part of Kentucky. Temperatures in Kentucky are in the 80s to low 90s. Ohio, 80s. Indiana, upper 80s to low 90s. Illinois, temperatures are in the 80s. Hold on a minute. Alright, I'm back, folks. I spoke too soon. Never mind. Alright, now we move up to the Great Lakes region where, let's see what we got. So, Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, winds are coming from the north, blowing up to 30 miles per hour in places like eastern Wisconsin and central Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Lower Michigan, you have winds coming from the north in the northern half of the peninsula, shifting towards the northeast, though the southern half of the lower part of Michigan. Their winds are blowing up to 30 miles per hour. Temperatures all across Michigan. Let's start off in the lower peninsula. Temperatures range from 68 in Traverse City to 95 in Detroit. Upper Peninsula, temperatures are in the upper 50s to low 70s. Wisconsin, temperatures are in the mid 60s to upper 70s. We go to Minnesota, where winds are very light and variable in the northern part of the state, though. Southern part, winds are moving towards the south, blowing at up to 15 miles per hour, where temperatures are going to be in the mid 60s to up to low 80s. Iowa, winds are coming from the north overall, though a little bit of light in the northwestern corner of the state. Winds are blowing up to 20 miles per hour. Temperatures are in the 80s. Missouri, winds coming from the north, shifting towards the northeast, just moving up to 25 miles per hour in some places. A little lighter elsewhere. Temperatures will be in the 80s as well. Let's go to Kansas and Nebraska. So what do we have here? So you have northeasterly winds in northeastern Kansas, though winds will be shifting towards the east in the southeastern part of the state, blowing up to 20 miles per hour, though in the western half of the state, winds are shifting towards the northwest, blowing up to 20 to 30 miles per hour in some places, though. Temperatures all across the state, they're in the 80s. Nebraska, you have winds that are coming from the northeast in eastern Nebraska, shifting towards the north in central Nebraska, blowing up to 30 miles per hour in places like North Platte, though in the eastern part up to 20 miles per hour. But in the far western part of Nebraska, temperatures are, winds are blowing to the south up to 25 to 30 miles per hour. Temperatures all across the state, they're in the mid 70s to low 80s. In the Dakotas, well, you're seeing somewhat variable winds, though the highest wind speed is up to 25 miles per hour. Places like western half of the Dakotas, but still there's some places that are light and variable, though, in that same region. Elsewhere in the Dakotas, also very light, though, and somewhat variable, though. But it kind of looks like it's moving towards the south, though. Take a look at the temperatures throughout South Dakota. They are in the 70s to low 80s. North Dakota temperatures are in the mid 60s to mid 70s. Let's go to the Northern Rockies. Hold on a minute. Man. Okay, so Montana, you have winds generally blowing towards the east throughout much of the state, but it's very light and variable in the southern part of the state. They're blowing up to 25 to 30 miles per hour in some places in northern Montana. Temperatures throughout the state, they are in the mid 60s to mid 70s all across the state. Idaho, winds are very light and variable in the central part of the state. Northern part, moving towards the northeast at up to 20 miles per hour. Southern part, winds are somewhat moving towards the east, up to 25 miles per hour. Northern half of the state of Ohio, temperatures are in the upper 50s to mid 60s. Southern part, temperatures are in the upper 60s to low 80s. Wyoming, we're seeing winds in the western part of the state. They're generally blowing towards the east, but still variable though, with wind speeds topping up to 25 to 30 miles per hour in a few places. Eastern half, winds are somewhat variable, but the far eastern part of the state, winds are blowing towards the south at up to 30 miles per hour, especially near Cheyenne. Temperatures will be in the 70s. Alright, so now let's talk about Colorado. So what do we got for Colorado? So western half of the state, winds are blowing towards the east at no more than 20 miles per hour, though in eastern Colorado, winds are coming from the south, shifting towards the northwest as it approaches the northeastern corner of the state. Winds blowing up to 20 to 30 miles per hour. The temperatures in the 80s to low 90s all across Colorado. Utah, winds are generally light and variable though, but top wind speed is about up to 20 miles per hour though. Temperatures all across the state, well, throughout the northern half of the state, they are in the mid 70s to mid 80s, so lower half, southern half, I should say. Temperatures are in the 80s to mid 90s. Nevada, you have the northern half with winds blowing towards the southwest at up to 25 miles per hour. In some places, elsewhere, it's going to be light and variable. Southern half, winds are somewhat moving towards the north, though, but still very light and variable in many places. Northern half of Nevada, temperatures are in the 70s. Southern half, 80s to mid 90s. Desert Southwest, so you're looking at New Mexico winds are mostly blowing towards the north at up to 25 miles per hour in some places. Far western part of New Mexico, winds are coming from the west, but still light though. Temperatures all across the state, they're in the 80s generally. Though in most of Arizona, winds are, well, somewhat light and variable. Well, though there are some winds are coming from the Gulf of California, though. But in places where there are strong winds, just up to 20 to 25 miles per hour, particularly in the east central part of Arizona. Northern half of Arizona, temperatures are in the 80s to mid 90s. Southern half, though, Alpine's at 75. Temperatures in the southern half of the state, they are in the upper 90s to mid hundreds. California, you have offshore strong winds paralleling the California coast, blowing up to 30 to 40 miles per hour. The immediate coastal parts, some places up to 25 to 30 miles per hour. But winds that are blowing on towards the coast, they're blowing up to no more than 20 miles per hour, though. Most places, though. But so far, it's somewhat light and variable in some places throughout the interior parts of California, blowing at no more than 20 miles per hour. But in the northeastern corner of the state, winds are coming from the east. Let's talk about temperatures, where you have temperatures at 57 in Eureka, though right around from the Bay Area all the way to San Diego. Temperatures range from the low 70s to low 80s in the interior, but in Indio, 102. Temperatures all across the Central Valley from Bakersfield all the way to Redding. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s, mid 80s to low 90s. Now let's go up to the Pacific Northwest, where we do have some mostly light and variable winds throughout much of the Pacific Northwest. Though, the leeward side of the Cascades in Washington State, winds are blowing towards the northeast at up to 20 miles per hour. In the coastal part of Oregon, winds are moving towards the south, blowing up to 20 miles per hour. But the immediate coastal parts, the beaches of Washington State and Oregon, winds blowing up to 30 miles per hour there, blowing parallel to the coast, moving towards the south though. Temperatures throughout Oregon, they're in the 70s. Washington State, temperatures are in the mid 60s to low 80s. Now let's transition to wind gusts, where there are gusts that are moving up to 40 miles per hour in the Adirondacks in Maine, maybe up to 30 miles per hour from the Jersey Shore all the way towards coastal New England, like Massachusetts, up towards coastal part of Maine. Go down south, where the Carolinas, because of Chantal, winds blowing up to 40 to 50 miles an hour. Well, places like east central Illinois, all the way to the lower peninsula of Michigan. Winds blowing up to 40 miles per hour in terms of gusts, all because of a cold front. And then you have offshore gusts blowing up to 40 to 50 to 60 miles per hour. Up to 50 miles per hour, though. Now let's talk about humidity, how much humidity there is. There's a lot of humidity in the Carolinas because of this tropical depression. Humidity throughout to the lower peninsula of Michigan, all the way to Milwaukee, southern Missouri, and as well as central Texas. Now let's talk about rainfall accumulation. So what do we have here? Rainfall accumulation could be as much as 6 to 10 inches of rain in the north central part of North Carolina, going into south central Virginia. Then we have the Ohio Valley, where rainfall estimates are to be about up to 2 inches of rain, going all the way towards Arkansas and Missouri. And we do have up to 2 inches of rain to be expected in Kansas and Nebraska. Texas, I would say just about up to an additional inch of rain. Let's go to the upper level wind, the upper part of the atmosphere. I'm just checking the chat real quick, see if I'm missing. Yeah, I'm just checking if there is any pest that's around. Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult thing for me to do, folks. Kind of makes me feel exhausted already. Whew, boy. Nothing so far, folks. Nothing so far. Okay, so now let's talk about the upper part of the atmosphere. So let's do this. Yeah, let's just pretend that this is what we got right now. So basically what we have here is a ridge just sitting just over the Colorado Rockies, another one over the Mid-Atlantic and the greater New York City area, a trough over Wisconsin, and that there is an upper level low just dominating the southeast, especially with Chantal, and a trough off the California coast. Which means wet weather. Well, is there any wet weather there? No, there is no wet weather. There's not enough moisture to go around, even with this shape. But there is a cold front with some storms throughout. Hold on a minute. All right, I'm back, folks. Okay, so like I said, so there's Chantal located in North Carolina right now. Storms occurring in the Ohio Valley, Michigan, the Great Lakes region, and there is some whether it's going to brew, but right now it's all just a guessing game. This is all just what's going on so far. But all I can say is, folks, that in Texas, all right about now, there's been an update on the fatalities. Just got to check real quick on how many have passed from storms in Texas. A moment, folks. Well, folks, here it is. So, unfortunately, the tragic news is that 59 people have died from the Texas floods as of 1:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Sunday, July 6, 2025. And unfortunately, some of them happen to be children. Boy, it is so horrific. Alright, folks, now it's time for me to get back to where I need to be, but I just hope there'll be no more dead people, no more dead kids. It's just horrific. Alright. Now, let's see what we got in 24 hours from then. However, in 24 hours, it would be Monday morning. So by Monday morning, there will be a ridge over the Colorado Rockies again, but the ridge will widen and take over, yet it will be over and off of the northeast. A small trough, a weak trough, just over the mid-Mississippi Valley, and as well as an upper level low just sitting off of the Gulf Coast, a trough over and off of the California coast, which means we will see about what weather that's going to occur throughout the Great Basin and the desert Southwest. Though some storms will occur throughout the Ohio Valley and some parts of the Great Lakes region, and as well as the interior parts of the Northeast, though some parts though. Then we move on. As for Chantal, there's still going to be some wet weather, though. It's going to get picked up by a cold front, as you will. It'll skirt out to sea in the next few days. Now we move on to Tuesday morning. There is going to be a small trough just located in northern Minnesota. There's going to be a big ridge over the desert Southwest and a wide but weak ridge just over and off the East Coast, which means that there's going to be some wet weather in the Ohio Valley, the Northeast, and probably in the Great Basin and the parts of the Pacific Northwest too. But we'll check that out as time rolls around. Finally, by Wednesday morning, there is going to be a ridge. It's going to be over the Great Basin, desert Southwest, a trough over Northern California, coastal Northern California, I should say, and a weak but wide ridge will still dominate over the Atlantic, which means there's going to be still some wet weather in the Ohio Valley and parts of the Northeast too, and some wet weather will occur throughout the Great Basin and in the Northern Rockies, parts of the Pacific Northwest too. But like I said, we'll check up on that. Now, what about let me see with the surface radar. So let's take a look at it. We're only doing it for Chantal, or rather, in some cases, post-tropical Chantal. Let me refresh the page. So as of 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, this happens to be Tropical Depression Chantal. Its maximum sustained winds are 30 knots, 30 or 35 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure is at 1,007 millibars, and it's moving at 8 knots to the north, or 9 miles per hour. Now, what about the path of the storm? Let me tell you something, folks. It's still going to be a tropical depression, though it'll end up becoming a post-tropical cyclone once it exits North Carolina and enters Virginia, and then it'll cease to exist. Its winds will weaken because it's over land. Yeah, it's still going to bring in plenty of rains throughout the mid-Atlantic. But in the meantime, let's just talk about what's going on right now. So we do have Chantal over North Carolina. Then we'll see what happens for tomorrow morning. So by tomorrow morning, it'll weaken and end up as a big rainmaker in the Mid-Atlantic, the Chesapeake Bay area. Then by Tuesday morning, hold on, let me just go back just to see what's going on. Okay, yeah, it's gonna meet up with a cold front, and then that cold front would start moving through the Northeast in association with some thunderstorms. So with that cold front on Tuesday morning, then after, well, actually the cold front, there still will be some precipitation for what it looks like. Then by Wednesday morning, wet weather will still be there, but we'll talk more about it once we get back to the Radar Omega part. This is the GFS, folks, and then once we transition to the European model. Okay, so this is a European model, and this is right now. Let's talk about what's going to happen by tomorrow morning. So by tomorrow morning, plenty of rains in the Mid-Atlantic, as I said earlier, and then we move on to Tuesday morning. There will be plenty of wet weather in the Northeast, well, because of former Chantal, but yet the forecast is called for some thunderstorms on that day, so let's just examine. Well, there's a cold front ahead of, well, behind this Chantal, so Chantal will be ahead of the cold front. But by Wednesday morning, the cold front will pass by and will give us some places in the Northeast some dry weather. Alright, so now let's talk about, or rather we should transition back to Radar Omega. So what do we got for Radar Omega? So let's see for Radar Omega. Well, let's talk about the 3-day forecast a little bit in depth. A little bit. You good. So let's see what we got for tonight. So by tonight, plenty of hot weather all across the south. All across the south, especially in the desert southwest, California, Great Basin, and as well as the southern plains. Though the center part of Texas, it's cool because of clouds that are occurring there. Now, what about tomorrow morning? So by tomorrow morning, there's going to be a lot of warm lows throughout the south and the Ohio Valley and much of the Northeast as well, and the desert southwest. Chilly weather, chilly temperatures in the Rockies and some parts of the Great Lakes region, particularly right around Lake Superior and parts of the Great Basin too. And what about tomorrow night? So by tomorrow night, there's going to be a lot of heat all across the south, southeast, the southern plains, and even much of the west too. See what we got for Tuesday morning. So by Tuesday morning, what we have here, plenty of warm lows throughout the southeast, lower Mississippi Valley, coastal Texas, and parts of the coastal part of the northeast and the desert southwest too. Chilly weather in some parts of the Great Lakes region, and as well as the Rocky Mountains and parts of the Great Basin and Sierra Nevadas too. Now we move on to Tuesday night, where there's going to be a lot of heat all across the south, western plains, front range of the Rockies, I should say. Plenty of heat throughout much of the west, including the Great Basin, desert southwest, California, even leeward side of the Cascades, Bitterroot Mountains. But it'll get somewhat a bit chilly in the Upper Peninsula part of Michigan, and anywhere that's near Lake Superior will get chilly temperatures. Finally, by Wednesday morning, there is going to be plenty of warm lows throughout parts of the south, though it's going to be east of Texas, and some warm lows throughout the greater New York City area too, and plenty of warm lows in the desert southwest. Now let's talk about what's going on for tonight with dew points. Thought I heard something. Never mind, folks, but still, I'm on edge. Okay, so dew points for tonight. So anywhere just east of the Rockies, you do have plenty of humidity building up in places like the South, the Mississippi and Ohio valleys, as well as the East Coast from Chantal, and even in the interior parts of the Northeast too. Some humidity will be in play throughout the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest and even parts of the desert Southwest too. Tomorrow morning, still the same scenario for tomorrow morning, though a little bit dry in the northern plains. Hold on a minute, folks. Just give me a moment while I do my business. And boom. We don't encourage spammers here. No, 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 no. Okay, so more humidity throughout the East Coast, still in the South, Ohio Valley, parts of the Great Lakes region, and some parts of the desert Southwest too. Tomorrow night, still the same setup, though it's a little dry in the northwestern part of the northern plains, like eastern Montana and western North Dakota. Though still more humidity along the East Coast, the South, the Mississippi Valley, and even more humidity throughout the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest. By Tuesday morning, it's still a similar setup, but it's becoming less humid in the northwestern part of the Rockies, some parts of the Great Lakes region. More humidity will be in play in parts of the desert Southwest, and some humidity will linger around throughout the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm on edge. For Tuesday night, also the same setup, but slightly more humid in the northwestern part of the Great Plains region. Though humidity will still be in play throughout much of the South, the East Coast, Mississippi Valley, and a little bit more humidity in the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest. Less humid in the desert Southwest, though. Finally, still the same setup, east of the Rockies, but less humid in the upper Mississippi Valley. A little bit more humid in the leeward side of the Cascades, but not as much as the coastal part. A little bit more humidity starts building up in the desert Southwest, though. Now we check on the Cape throughout the country. There is plenty of convection throughout the south, the Great Plains, the interior, parts of the northeast, New England, and as well as the Ohio Valley, and even parts of the southeast too, and parts of the desert southwest. Now what about tomorrow morning? Tomorrow morning there is plenty of convection all along the Gulf Coast, parts of Florida, Great Plains, Texas, and parts of the Carolinas too, but nothing with Chantal though. Tomorrow night, plenty of convection throughout the Great Plains region, lower Mississippi Valley, sorry about that, South Florida. Still some convection throughout much of the East Coast. Tuesday morning, some convection throughout the Gulf Coast, southeast, the coastal part, and a little bit of convection in the Mississippi Valley, and especially parts of the Great Plains region too. Tuesday night, there's going to be plenty of convection throughout the southern plains, parts of the Gulf Coast, like Texas, and especially the Mid-Atlantic. Finally, Wednesday morning, some convection throughout much of the Gulf Coast, stretching from Texas all the way to Panhandle of Florida. Though some convection will occur throughout the southern plains. Now let's focus on radar reflectivity. So what do we got here? Cold front moving in through places like Kansas and Missouri all the way to Michigan, affecting places like St. Louis, Chicago, Indianapolis, Detroit, and even Cincinnati. What weather will still occur throughout the Carolinas and the rest of the Mid-Atlantic, and as well as plenty of pop-up thunderstorms throughout the Gulf Coast. Even Texas will still get more rain, particularly in the center part of the state, and as well as another round of storms in New Mexico going up towards Wyoming. Some parts of the northern Rockies will get some scattered showers and clouds. Pop-up showers and clouds, spotty ones, Now let's see what's going to happen for tomorrow morning. Forgive me for saying tomorrow morning back there. It's for tonight, So sorry about that, folks, and that includes during my Cape part of the forecasting. I deeply apologize for that, folks. Okay, so what do we have here? So we got some spotty clouds and showers throughout parts of the Northeast. Though there's going to be plenty of wet weather throughout the Mid-Atlantic, as well as Gulf Coast, some showers and storms, and especially some cloud showers and a few storms in places like the Ohio Valley, Mid-Mississippi Valley, the Great Plains region. We'll get some storms going from Kansas all the way to Dakotas and Montana. Straight clouds and showers in some places of the west Coast. By tomorrow night, cold front moves in, affecting places like the interior parts of the Northeast, going down towards Tennessee, and even Alabama, Mississippi, with some scattered cloud showers and a few storms here and there. There's going to be some storms in the northern plains too, and as well as New Mexico and the Colorado Rockies, some parts of the Great Basin, scattered clouds and some spotty showers and clouds, Tuesday morning, the wet weather system, it's because of, former Chantal, will start moving out to sea. Though it's going to affect places like the New York City area and the Boston, Philadelphia area. Plenty of showers and storms throughout much of the South. More storms occurring throughout parts of the Great Plains, upper Mississippi Valley, straight cloud showers in some parts of the West Coast. Tuesday night, what do we have here? So by Tuesday night, cold front moves in, affecting places like the megalopolis part of the Northeast, from Washington, D.C. all the way to Boston. Showers and thunderstorms all across the South. Storms move in towards places like the upper Mississippi Valley, Great Lakes region, especially parts of the Ohio Valley. A few cloud showers and a few storms throughout the Rockies and parts of the Great Basin too. And finally, by Wednesday morning, there's still going to be few cloud showers, maybe a few storms in the Northeast. Similar story throughout the South, though a little bit more of the stormy side, meaning that there could be a few more storms than those in the Northeast for Wednesday morning. Though there are going to be more storms in the Great Lakes region and some clouds taking place in some parts of the West Coast. Though in the Washington State, the coastal parts, some scattered cloud showers, maybe a few storms here and there. Alright, so that's it for that's it for now. And that's the weather topic. That's the national weather discussion for you guys. But if you guys really want to know what's going on lately in terms of what's been going on in Texas, well, that I can tell you guys right about now. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's see what we got. Okay, so this is satellite. It's been a thing since this morning. I can tell you this, folks, is that it's always been wet weather. It's been occurring throughout the center part of the state. But I'd be happy to change things up. See what we got with the upper level water vapor imagery. Just so you know, folks, this is more of like what's been going on throughout the past 3 hours. Just outside Dallas-Fort Worth for the past 3 hours, there's been a lot of convection. All that moisture starts building up. And all those floodwaters that have been occurring there, well, they've evaporated and then end up being reused. And it looks like as though that the upper level winds, they're moving towards the south and southwest for the past 3 hours. But I know it doesn't really explain much about what's been going on throughout the past couple of days. We'll get to Kingdom Hearts in just a moment. I know this is the time that I should be playing the game, but it's just that just gotta check up on what's been going on lately. I'll try to explain this in a much better sense. Okay, so let's check the upper level winds. Let's try to go back to last Sunday, right here. Okay. This was last Sunday, so pay attention to Texas, where pretty much you've been dealing with some ridging, but however, upper level winds are coming from the south, though, on July 2nd, since last Wednesday. But then you ended up having a system that's you've been having some kind of a ridge that was over the southern plains. Then it got stalled there. Then going into the 4th of July thing is that it's been stuck ever since. Today's July 6th, just so you know, folks. But, however, going into today's radar, this is what's been going on. Let me see, folks. Well, from what it looks like, is that you had an upper level low that's been sitting there. Now I want to go back to 2 days ago. Right, as you can see, I mean, there is somewhat a bit of a area of weakness from what I can see. Like, just a little bit of a kink to it. You can see when from the west shifting towards the southwest, meaning there could be some low pressure area there. I mean, nothing much has been moving for the past couple of days. I mean, you did have an upper level low. It's been sitting there over the Gulf for quite some time. But still though, this is something I gotta look further into. But we'll do it some other time. But right now, I want to focus on giving you guys the goods in terms of us playing Kingdom Hearts. So let's just go ahead and hold on a minute. Let me. Okay, just give me a minute, folks. Let me let me just fix things up right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull up something real quick. Okay. Hold on a minute. Oh boy. Yeah, I got. Hold on a moment, folks. I gotta set things up for myself. Just be patient. Okay, hold on. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Gotta set myself up real quick. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Load. Okay. I'm back, folks. Now, let's play this game right now. Now what do we do? Okay, so leaving where we left off. So now we just gotta give the guy the password. Yeah, you gotta thank us for that. Let's go, you guys. Screw that. Well, we got cyber heartless assholes to deal with. Excellent, guys. More heartless. More cyber heartless. Excellent job, you guys. So how you guys doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys having a good Sunday. Hold on a minute. Okay. Let's go, you guys. Ah, more noise! Yeah, this town's starting to suck ass more. Gotta access the computer. Huh, so the 7 princesses are the password. Alright. Uh-oh. Enjoy a game. Oh boy, we're in trouble. Fill the gauge and stop all the monitors. Stop the monitor. I'll get more clusters right now. Let's terminate this motherfucker right now. Ah, come on. Why can't I do anything? I can't freeze. One more to go. Okay, I gotta make this fast. Damn it. Oh, dude. Damn, I was too slow. Okay, let's try to hurry this up. Alright, let's fill the gauge and stop all the monitors. Let's make it quick. Okay, 2 more to go. Suck dick. Suck dick, you cyber heartless fiends. Okay, let's go find that second computer right now. There we go. Nice job, you guys. That's good. Oh boy, yeah, you spoke too soon, dude. Well, we're gonna shut you down. You gotta beat this virus. Alright? For those of you who are not really computer whizzes, programming whizzes, well, even I don't know. Oh, he learned a new ability. I don't have a safe spot. There's nothing you can do. Let's see, Sora. And Sora. Okay, now where do we go? Well, we got more cyber heartless fiends. Now we need to save real quick. Guys, save your energy. Let's go back to the pit cell and save. Got it? Excellent work, you guys. Alright, guys. We're in the hallway right now at the I.O. tower. More Cyber Heartless. Excellent work. AP boost. Power crystal. Where do we go? Can we go through here? Or through here? Hold on a minute. Yeah, I'm hearing background music. Hold on a minute. So, folks, there are two ways going about this. Two ways. Let's try the left one first. Okay, I leveled up to number 28. Yeah, we overblew it. Excellent, you guys. Can't ride it without the Solar Sailor. Communications room. Okay, so here we are. Let's save real quick. And of course, open the chest. Yeah, let's save real quick, just to be on the safe side. Yeah, because a friend of mine told me, saving is your best friend, as usual. And that's true. get your belt. And the map. Excellent. Okay, this one says to transport current user to research lab. Let's execute this. Yeah, this is supposed to go back. Thought there would be something else to this. Next room, what are you talking about? I know that. This is what I'm doing right now. Okay, so what am I gonna do now? Nothing much I can do at this point. I mean, I really want to, but I don't know how. Okay, so we're supposed to go back then. Okay. Let's kick some ass then. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, let's beat that cyber heartless boss. Let's do it. Nothing but a huge Trojan horse to deal with. A major computer bug. Ah! Dude! Ow! Damn it! Now let's get rid of him. He's not doing anything. Damn it. Come on, freeze him! Freeze him! Let's get him! Yeah, we got a long way to go. Let's freeze him! Let's finish him once and for all, guys. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, damn it. Shit. Gotta finish this motherfucker up. Come on, let's beat him! Beat him now! Oh no! Oh boy, he's getting back all that power right now. Here we go! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah, I have to talk over the sirens right now. Here we go! I gotta talk over the sirens right now. Wow, it's so powerful. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me mute the mic, let me mute the Man, those sirens were really, really annoying. They were distracting me. A major source of distraction. I need new abilities for Sora. Nope. Something for Goofy. Nothing yet, though. Alright, let's skip the scene. Let's beat this asshole right now. Gotta get more clusters right now. Gotta make it fast. Oh, more. Here we go. Gotta make this fast, guys. Gotta be very distant. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go beat this asshole right now. Alright, let's do this, guys. Let's finish this fucker off. Damn it. Need to recover. Damn it. Let's go. On the offense, guys. Ah. On the center, guys. Now, on the offense. Here we go. Oh, now this is the serious part, guys. Yeah, we are done being your bitch. Ah, come on. Stay away, you guys. Come on. Let's finish him. Oh, come on, every time. Let's go. Ah, come on, stop hitting us multiple times. Come on, gotta be careful with that. I'm gonna get more. Stop doing that! Oh my god! Come on. Come on! Give me a break. Die. Come on, guys, finish him. Yes! We did it, guys. We did it. Whew, boy. That was tough. Whew, that was a very tough battle, folks. If I missed that opportunity, I'd be a goner. Again. Ah, I see. Yeah. Guess you had no choice. Yeah, what changed him? Yeah, for sure. Alright, let's go back. Alright, excellent job, you guys. Now, let's save real quick. Although we only have about 15 more minutes left, so let's just give it another go. Not yet. Sora, Donald, and Goofy. Yeah, we'll see you again. You know, it'd be awesome, like, if there were, like, the Cars version of Kingdom Hearts. The Cars world for Kingdom Hearts, I mean. Okay, so the Photon Debugger. Wow. Yeah, Sora, Donald, and Goofy. All right. Oh, good luck, Sora. You, wow. Not much of a whiz at computers, huh, Sora? Wow. Now let's save real quick. We're back in Hollow Bastion. Okay, let's try this again. Right. Data error? Oh, hell no. Let's see what we got in terms of nobodies. Oh, shit. Yeah, how about Organization 13? Are you serious? Yeah, Sora, what's wrong with you? King Mickey. Yeah, you owe us an explanation. Ah, oh, damn. So he was the imposter version of Ansem. Seriously. Yeah, what happened to the real... Yeah, we want to know what the hell is he up to. Oh, shit. Damn, dude. Damn. Oh, boy. It's like one of those moments. Yeah. Please don't tell me he's dead. You gotta be kidding me. Right. Let's do it. Oh, boy. Wow. So it turns out something's up. Okay, so the lab is here. Well, after the whole explaining part by Mickey, now that we know that organization 13, well, rather, what I mean is that now that we know that the whole time when we beat Ansem was an imposter. I'm like, okay, so the real answer has to be here somewhere, and we need more answers than just what Mickey had explained us so far. Ansem the Wise? Well, let me ask you something goofy. Yeah, it's gonna be a long fight. But once again, I'm gonna have to leave it at a cliffhanger, folks. We will continue this later today at 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. But, however, I feel like as though that I need to go out for a lunch break. So what does this mean? Well, it means that we're going to end the stream, but even though we only got about 5 minutes left, I just need to do the topic of the day for you guys. Well, boy, damn, I can't believe we beat the imposter. Now we want to know who the imposter is and what's his true purpose. And we want to know the real Ansem, which Mickey labels him as Ansem the Wise, but so far just don't see it. Damn. Hold on just a minute, folks. Let me transition real quick. Alright, now let's switch back to Radar Omega. Damn, dude! Can't believe we fucking killed an imposter. We want to know who the imposter is. But okay. Now let me just zoom out and let me give you guys the weather topic of the day. So let's go ahead and do that. The weather topic of the day. Hold on a minute, folks. Okay, so the hurricane topic of the day is how do a hurricane, well, yeah, how do hurricane systems form? Yeah, I was gonna talk about hurricanes, but now I don't see anything going. Hold on just a minute. Let me see what I can do right now. How can I find... Yeah, so far, I was gonna do some things, but apparently... You know what? I'm just gonna display right here what's going on. Okay. Let me just play the radar for you guys. Well, you know what? I know, like, I'm supposed to give you guys the weather topic of the day. Now, what am I doing? Well, I'm just gonna give you guys what's going on. Well, actually, let's just go ahead and make a classic, very simple type of weather topic of the day. That would be, what happens to tropical storms and hurricanes after they make landfall? After making landfall, tropical storms and hurricanes weaken as they lose their source of energy from warm ocean waters. However, they can still cause significant damage due to heavy rain, strong winds, and storm surge pushing inland. The storm may also transition into an extratropical. Sorry, I think I got hair like in my lips. Oh. Okay. Take two. After making landfall, tropical storms and hurricanes weaken as they lose their source of energy from warm ocean waters. However, they can still cause significant damage due to heavy rain, strong winds, and storm surge pushing inland. The storm may also transition into an extratropical cyclone or dissipate entirely. Well, folks, that's it for the weather topic of the day. Although it was, well, I would say, like, very, very, very too simple, folks. I know, like, I could have gotten you guys a better weather topic of the day, but this is more simple in contrast to, like, let's say, last night with barotropic versus baroclinic atmospheres. But for the most part, folks, I would say that, well, that's it for the weather topic of the day. But maybe I could have another one, but that's just it for now. All right? I will see you guys at 6 o'clock p.m. and we'll stream for 2 hours with more Kingdom Hearts. We've already done our national weather discussion and the weather topic of the day. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. And if not, see you guys next time. But no stream tomorrow. Tuesday I will. Unless if the weather gets too severe. But do hit me with a follow, and then turn on the notifications so that you guys will watch more streams going forward. Until then, peace out, everybody. Love you all. Signing out.